Hello, it's Delta7554 with another video. This time I will be covering the new Solar Auxilia support box as well as the rules for the Solar Auxilia. If you like this video, then please like and subscribe. So without taking any more time, let's jump in. Okay, we will first go through what was revealed last week with the Legion's Imperialis Solar Auxilia support box. The box contains 12 Rapier batteries, 12 Tarantulas and 6 Cyclops demolition vehicles. For a total of 28 miniatures in one box. Whilst it says the box contains 40 miniatures, these combine to make 28 game pieces, which are known as miniatures in the rules. We will now go through the separate units in the box. Rapier batteries. Like in the Legion's Astartes support box, you will be getting Rapier batteries, only where the Space Marines have 4, you will get a healthy 12 batteries, 4 outfitted with quad launchers, 4 with laser destroyers and 4 mole mortars which use burrowing warheads to tunnel underneath the enemy. Each come with the option of additional Solar Auxiliary on the base as a support crew. Right, we will now look at the next item on the list, the Tarantula turrets. Tarantula turrets. These were first seen in the Legion's Astartes support box. Again, where you had only 4 in the box, you have 12, which are split evenly between lascannon batteries and Hyperios air defense missiles, keeping your infantry safe from enemy vehicles and air units. Now we shall look at the final unit in the box, the Cyclops demolition tank. Cyclops demolition tank. Hiding up the sleeves of the Solar Auxilia are these little demo tanks, unmanned and packed full of powerful explosives and controlled remotely by Solar Auxilia operators from the safety of the trenches. You will get 6 models in the box. Now, for many of the older players of the game, we all know that Games Workshop used satire in many of its settings, and the Cyclops is no exemption given its striking similarity to the German Goliath demolition tank from World War II. Plus, if you look through a few pieces of the original artwork, you can see the satire at work. Okay, so that is all the units in the new box gone through, so let's get on to the next part of this video, which is a look at some of the rules the Solar Auxilia use. Sent to the battlefront as mighty formations known as cohorts, a Solar Auxilia force is a mighty military behemoth consisting of everything needed to wage war, from gigantic fleet void ships to mobile crew-served infantry support weapons. Each cohort is further divided into sub-cohorts which are assigned to particular battles, and in Legion's Imperialis this is often the force at your command. We will now look at some of these rules. Unlike their tall, ceramite armored allies and enemies, the troops of the Solar Auxilia are not entirely self-sufficient during battle. Their vast armies rely on commanders to orchestrate them, and units with the chain of command keyword cannot receive orders other than advance unless within the sphere of influence of models with the Solar Auxilia HQ special rule. Legate commanders have the widest aura of command, but you are limited to 1 per 1,500 points. They are backed up with Auxilia tactical command detachments and tank commanders, who project smaller auras. Now this sounds similar to unit coherency in other games. So do these need to babysit other units around the map, or can units operate independently? Either way, it would add a new spin on the games having certain units tell other units what to do. Let me know in the comments what you think. Numbers will tell against even the mightiest power-armored troops, and the press of bodies presented by even the elite Solar Auxilia's close formation fighting grants them extra CAF when fighting shoulder to shoulder or garrison with comrades. This rule seems to make using the Solar Auxilia as a wall rather feasible, as for each friendly infantry model in base-to-base contact it increases the CAF, close assault factor, by 1. Meaning your men can become a solid wall of resolve against the enemy forces. We will now look at some of the detachment cards that are in the article. The traditional Solar Auxilia army is built around a core of elite yet alarmingly expendable Lasrifle Tertios, whose line keyword grants them an extra 2 tactical strength when deciding who controls objectives, which are the key to winning games. You can fatten these detachments up with flamer-toting auxiliaries, and add power weapons with Velatari and Charonite Ogrons, which benefit from the Rend rule, letting you add d6 to your fight rolls, to a maximum of 6d6. While massed infantry is helpful for securing objectives, tanks are good at shooting things off them. Solar Auxilia armored company formations ensure that you can field big scooped handfuls of the things, with a tank commander to boot. You'll fill your battle tank detachment slots with either Malkador or Lemon Russ squadrons, the latter of which can contain up to 10 vehicles. We seem to have compulsory detachments, meaning certain companies must have these detachments in them. You must also upgrade one vehicle model in the detachment to a commander at the cost of 10 points. You can also have optional detachments in your forces as well. I will be able to tell you more once I get my hands on a box and have had a good look through the rulebook. So on to the next part. It seems with tanks the weapons you pick will have a big impact on the game, as we can see here with the Lemon Russ. By taking the Vanquisher variant of the Lemon Russ, you will get the Armorbane trait on its shooting attacks, which forces rerolls for successful saving throws made by vehicles, super heavies, knights, and titans. While it might look like a straight upgrade over the trusty Lemon Russ battle cannon, its anti-tank trait reduces its AP value to 0 against infantry and cavalry models. By contrast, the Heavy Bolter is light, so it simply bounces off vehicles and bigger targets. As detachments generally have to fire at the same target, matching your loadout to the target is vital. This is to be expected, as you would use a machine gun on infantry and a cannon on anything bigger. This also probably means you have more customization options. Will these be separate boxes of weapons like the Age of Darkness troops, or do they come in the box? Let me know what you think. Super heavy tank squadrons fill your heavy armor slots, covering a variety of armament patterns we know as Baneblades and Hellhammers. These rolling fortresses are spoiled for choice with weapon options, and every bit as tough as a Legion Kratos. They bristle with point defense weapons, smaller guns which grant some flexibility to these lumbering beasts. These may be fired on a secondary target, and may also fire in the movement phase if the detachment has been given an advance or march order, a helpful infantry deterrent. So this is pretty self-explanatory. With all the extra guns you can attack multiple targets with multiple weapons, or the same target with all weapons for if you need something completely atomizing or really dead. The auxillia will also have air support in the form of the Thunderbolts and Marauders of the Aeronautica Imperialis, as well as dozens of guns in the form of Tarantula and Rapier batteries that can help even the odds against the Legiones Astartes. So that about covers it for this video. As for the release of the game being pushed back to later in the year, I have not heard of any new release date yet. Might be next month or perhaps October. This is only speculation, however. So that's all we have time for, and I will see you in another video.